Hello friends, I'm George, the nice smelling gentleman. Yet another month has passed, so that means it's time for my monthly top shelf video. So in this video I'm going to share with you which fragrances I was wearing the most during the past month of June, and also which fragrances brought me the most compliments. As usual with this type of videos, I'm going to start off with my office scent of the month. I'm saying this pretty much in every top shelf video, but I visit my office quite rarely, probably like a couple of times each month. I do my most of my work from my home, but for the month of June, my office scent of choice was the Missoni for Homme. For those who don't know, this is a fragrance that's heavily inspired by Bleu de Chanel EDP. Some people go as far as call this a clone of Bleu de Chanel, but I don't think this is an exact clone, but it's very heavily inspired by Bleu de Chanel. You get that quite similar to Bleu de Chanel opening, citrusy, grapefruity opening, but on the dry down, this fragrance goes in a slightly different direction. It feels a little bit more barbershoppy, a little bit more soapy compared to Bleu de Chanel, but nonetheless, because it carries this Bleu de Chanel DNA, it's super versatile. Sort of smells a bit professional. It's very safe for office usage. Scent, my office scent of the month for June was the Missoni per Homme. Now, the month of June, at least where I live, is sort of the start of the summer season. So I felt it's time to bring out more of the freshy fragrances. So the next few fragrances are going to be freshies. The first one that I gave quite a good few wearings was the from the house of Rue Broca, the Rue Broca Theoreme. Now this is yet another clone of Bulgari's Tiger, quite similar to the original fragrance, also quite similar to fragrances like Afnan Turati Blue, Latafa Alkiam Silver. Um, all of them are very similar to each other, but at the end of the day, I think I found my favorite one out of those three fragrances. The Rue Broca, it's a very nice, very realistic grapefruity opening. On the dry down, it gets a bit woody, a bit sweet from an amber note. Very fresh, very refreshing, very versatile. Great performance out of this one. Price tag is also quite good if you look hard enough at discounters. All in all, a great fragrance for the colder, for the hotter months of the year, the Rue Broca Theoreme. The next freshie that I was using quite a lot in the month of June was the Perry Ellis Red 360 Red. Again, this is another heavily inspired by a famous designer fragrance. In this case, it's heavily inspired by Acqua di Gio and Acqua di Gio Profumo. Um, I really love this DNA, especially the original Acqua di Gio Profumo DNA, one of my all-time most favorite scents. And the Perry Ellis 360 Red emulates that original DNA quite nicely. It's not as smoky as the Profumo, but still gets you quite close. Performance of this fragrance has surprised me pleasantly. Quite a good performer. I get about 78 hours on my skin with this fragrance. It feels very nice. It's again another mass-pleasing type of scent. Very versatile and very good for the warmer months of the year. One of the reasons why I look up to the summer days, the hot, warm, hot summer days, is because I can get to wear one of my all-time most favorite fragrances and probably my all-time most favorite freshie from the house of Versace, the Versace Eau Fraiche. I absolutely love this fragrance. That's probably the fragrance that I've worn the most during my life. Very nice, refreshing, citrusy opening with an interesting start fruit note in here. On the dry down, it gets a bit woody, musky, slightly sweet from the amber note. Performance here for a freshie is quite good. Also, it's quite a likable fragrance. I've received a lot of compliments during sort of my life wearing this fragrance. And again, as I said, the summer, I always look up to the summer because I can wear the Versace Eau Fraiche, and I was wearing this fragrance quite a lot in the month of June. The next freshie that I gave quite a good few wearings in the month of June was the from the house of Rasasi, the Rasasi Hawas. Now, this is a fragrance that I had to wait quite a long time in order to acquire it. It was gone from the market for a long time, but a few months ago I was finally able to get my hands on this fragrance. And right now the weather outside, the hot summer days are a great time to use the Rasasi Hawas. It's a fantastic sweet fragrance, a bubblegummy sweetness with some sort of marine saltness in here. A very good performance, quite a loud fragrance with great projection. Works great, as I said, in hot summer days. And in fact, yesterday I think was again I was wearing the Rasasi Hawas during the day. It's a fantastic fragrance and it was worth the wait for me. And the last two fragrances in my top shelf part of this video are going to be from the house of Afnan. I acquired them both at the start of this month, and I was wearing them quite a lot because I was doing preparations for my full reviews of those two fragrances, but also I was enjoying wearing them quite a lot. The first one, the Supremacy Not Only Intense. A absolutely fantastic fragrance, very high quality. A DNA that's a sort of a mix between Creed Aventus and Nishane Hashivat. Somewhere in the middle between those two fragrances, quite sort of thick sweetness in the opening of this one. On the dry down, it's a little bit more enjoyable. It's musky, a bit spicy, still quite sweet. Very strong projecting fragrance. Easily projects for 3 to 4 hours without any problem. Longevity is great, over 12 hours on skin, absolutely no problem. All in all, a super high quality fragrance that comes in a very luxurious package. The Supremacy Not Only Intense. And the last fragrance in my top shelf part of this video is going to be again from the house of Afnan, the Afnan Tribute, or Tribute Blue as it's marketed at some places. This is a very interesting fragrance, almost I can call it unique fragrance. Very interesting scent profile that to my nose is somewhat reminiscent of something like Bois Imperial from the house of Essential Parfums. It's woody, it's slightly fresh, slightly spicy, slightly sweet. Very, as I said, very interesting scent profile, great performance, quite strong projection. This easily lasts 10 to 12 hours on my skin. Super versatile because it has the scent profile that can work in sort of a warmer months of the year. Also has enough of a performance to work in colder months of the year. It's office friendly, very interesting. And a fantastic offering from the house of Afnan, the Afnan Tribute. And in the second part of this video, I'll show you the three fragrances that brought me the most compliments in the month of June. Two of them I already showed you. The first one is the Supremacy Not Only Intense from Afnan. As I said, a very interesting high quality fragrance that's very loud. So pretty much every time I was wearing this, I was getting noticed. People were giving me compliments, people that I know, and even total strangers. It seems to be a very likable fragrance, especially in the air around the person who wears this one. The second fragrance that has that's very versatile and, as it turns out, has a very likable, mass-pleasing scent DNA, the Theoreme from Rue Broca. Of course, as I said a few minutes ago, this is a clone of Bulgari's Tiger, and no matter if I'm wearing the Rue Broca Theoreme, the Turati Blue, or Alkiam Silver from Latafa, any of those three fragrances has always brought me a lot of compliments. And the third fragrance that got me a lot of compliments is again another fragrance that's an all-time favorite for me. Now, there recently have been a lot of rumors about this fragrance being discontinued. So when I heard that, I had to get a new bottle. So at the start of June, I got a brand new bottle, 125 milliliter bottle of Jean-Paul Gaultier's Ultra Male. Now, the beginning of the month wasn't that warm. The weather wasn't that pleasant. There were quite a few rainy days with sort of quite cold evenings, and that was when I was wearing this fragrance. I know this is known more for like a clubbing type of scent, late night, cold weather type of scent. But because, as I said, at the beginning of the month, the temperatures in the evenings weren't that high, I gave this one a few good wearings, and pretty much every time I've worn this, I've received the compliments from like, again, people around me, people that I know, and also total strangers. And so guys, in today's video, I showed you the fragrances that I used the most, and also the fragrances that got me the most compliments in the month of June. I hope that you found this video interesting. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my future content. Stay safe, and I hope I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye bye.